Hello. I've been having a think about the 100E and the jobs that I've been doing, and I've got a little bit of an idea about how to sort of approach the job. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to approach the major structural repairs first, and then I'm going to do a round of minor bodywork, underfloor repairs that are kind of nice to have rather than absolutely crucial. And because of the way I started at the back, and then I did that corner, and now I've done that area there. I think what I'm going to do is go around the car in this anti-clockwise direction, doing the repairs, and then sort of start again and then do the minor ones. And then once all those are done is to take care of the mechanical issues. The only reason I'm kind of going through this all in my mind is because I think I want to take the front wing off. I think I'm going to take the bumper off, the front wing, the bonnet, the front panel, maybe that wing as well. Take the whole front end off so that I can tackle the inner sill and the sill and the interface between the wing and the sill, all of which are sort of interlinked. The inner sill along here is completely gone. Well, it's there, but it isn't very good. And I've made a new inner sill in that area there, so it's got new inner sill from there back. But I want to bring the inner sill forward now from there up to here. But really, I need the wing out the way. Probably the door out the way as well would be good, but this is where you have to beware of mission creep. As I'm saying it, I'm having a little second thought about it, because I wonder, knowing that the wing's going to need repairing, I wonder if it might be better to just kind of cut it off at the point where it would be spliced. Hang on. There's the repair panel. Knowing that that's going to be fitted, would I do better to just leave the front wing in place to stop the sort of effect of feeling like the car's been tore apart, you know, completely torn apart, and get overwhelmed with the feeling that there's too much to do? Or would it be possible, do you think, to just cut that away so that I can just tackle the sill and inner sill areas? Yeah, I think I might do that. So if I can just get a line as to how high I can come up there, but then cut it off as low as I can, I think I might kind of cut it at an angle like that and use as little of this as possible, because I don't think there's enough shape. I don't think this shape is represented fully enough on the patch panel. So I'd like to use as much of this as possible. Yeah, I'm going to cut that away so I can see what's going on behind it. That's a good start, isn't it? None of this is cast in stone, and it is all probably likely to be changed and you know, done in a different order. But you have to have a plan to move forward, don't you? If you end up revising that plan, that's not the end of the world. So the first thing I'm going to do then is cut this wing away, cut the wing away as much as I can, to give me access to the panels behind. And then if I need to take the wing off, I'll take the wing off, but if I don't need to take it off now, I won't, because basically I don't yet want to see all the repairs up here, because if I see the repairs here, it might put me off doing that. Okay, righto, that's enough rambling from me. I'll get cracking and I'll bring you back when there's more to show. The first thing I've done is to offer the sill into place. There's nothing to clamp it to at the front end here, there's nothing there. But I'm just kind of trying to get an idea as to how it looks. I don't think it looks too bad actually. I think this end here needs to roll under a little bit more. Like I say though, there's not really much to get hold of. That's clamped to my inner sill there, and I can see that I've got to trim off a bit more than I thought. So I can draw a line along there, and that can be trimmed off. Here it is as it sits under the door, and here it is as it meets up to the quarter panel. I used a bit of ingenuity here to clamp the back end up, to lift the back end against here. Now the difficult thing is how to weld it on. I did one of these before on a van where I actually used screws to put the sill on, and the theory was that the sill could be removed and it could all be washed out, and you know, any rust could be attended to, and it could be all wax oiled inside. I never actually did that, but it had the ability. And I think I did it much the same as this, where I had an extra thick inner sill. But would I want to do, would I do that with the whole world watching over my shoulder? When I did it, it sounds like a codge, but I did it really well. I can imagine plug welding all the way along here. And what I did here, I took a slitting disc and slit away half of the braze in that area there. I didn't want to leave it there because I didn't want to cut this all the way to this edge. I wanted to leave something there. Down here you can see the quarter panel. I suppose I could prepare that lip of the quarter panel and get some welds between it and the sill. The problem is, you see, is that you don't really want to sort of put it on and then somebody be having to change it again in 5 years' time, you know what I mean? It's like, you want it to be robust. I cut the outer part off the wing there. I don't think it's worth pulling that in too far because it fits better to the door if it's out a little bit. This is like an inner piece of the wing that's supposed to come round and reinforce this piece, and it's supposed to have a flat piece on it that has like a spire clip, and a screw comes through and into the spire clip to hold the wing on. But it's part of the inner piece there, and then the outer piece folds around it. I think what they've done here is like they've tried to kind of reinstate this area. This is original. I think this is one that they've added on behind it. Oh, I don't know. One's hard to say, isn't it? My best bet is to cut it all off and just make something new that kind of looks like it'll do the job, and try and simplify things as well. The number one thing is to try and eliminate the rust traps. I'm just looking. Doesn't make good viewing for you, does it? Me just looking at things. I think there is supposed to be a very slight curve to this sill that you would have had with an original one, but you don't get on the repros. I might just drill and put some self-tappers in along the top to start the ball rolling, so just to get me a position. And maybe similar along there, maybe 3 along there, and about, you know, 2 or 3 along there. Yeah. See where that scallop is there? That's where the bolt goes in that attaches the wing here. So this here is the line of the original inner wing. So that's a datum. This surface here. So this surface here is miles off where it should be. Yeah, it needs to be out here, not in there. So my best bet is to cut this off, and then I need to sort of project a straight line from here back to where I've put the inner sill in down here. I need to get the location of the inner sill, and you can see remnants of it there. And I need to reinstate an inner sill in the right place. That's my #1 priority, I think. Okay. My problem is there isn't enough good inner sill to weld a new inner sill to. I don't think I'm brave enough to cut everything out completely. Okay, let's just start trimming away some of this stuff and see if I got a piece of metal long enough to go from there to here, and then we'll look at how to attach it. Okay, righto, I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Okay, I'm going to basically remove everything from there along this edge. I've got a few pieces of this that I can use to replace the edge of the floor, and I want to replace the inner sill where I can, or at least replace a substantial amount of it. But I think you got to get rid of the old stuff first, and whatever happens I'll just fix it. I'm just kind of debating as to whether the car is going to go, you know, and stretch, but this piece will remain in place, or do I sort of basically just do a section there's a box section under there, and there's a jacking point there. So maybe I would do better to just come to here and then do that as a separate piece, so that there's more left in situ rather than taking everything out. But I'm going to take it out from in front of here, so to about there, I think. Take that piece out and then deal with the front piece. It would be good to get the inner sill in one piece, but I'm not brave enough to attempt that. You know, let's go kind of manageable chunks. Okay, anyway, that's the situation from the inside. Here's the situation from underneath. So if I come forward to about here, that's going to be a good thing to do, I think. I started knocking this last night with a hammer, and all the middle part fell out. and all that's left is this outer part, the shell. This is all scabby repairs that have been added on. So what I want to do is lose everything but leave enough of the original inner sill to attach a new inner sill to. Okay, I'll get cracking and I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Jacking point's gone, box section's gone, joint with floor is gone, and inner sill has been trimmed back to a certain height. I used this piece of angle on there like that, and then use the, run the grinder along it to get it nice and uniform. So that cut there is nice and uniform. And I've gone to a point there, and then because it was encroaching with the floor, I then cut down a bit lower, and then I decided to bring the new piece all the way up to the front corner there. So I've got to cut this away and trim this. Shame there's a hole there, but hey, can't have everything. The only sort of difficulty is this part here, which is where the bolt comes through to attach the lower wing, if I choose to reinstate that, of course. They do put quite a big flange on the bottom of the patch panels. Anyway, the idea is that there's enough overlap there to put plug welds through from that side. So I need to make sure this side is flat, so I've got to either grind off or cut down these indented parts here, the dimple die effect there, and there's a lump there and two lumps there, and then I've got to cut this away and cut this away to get access at the front there. But this sort of bit of film is a record for me to, for how it needs to be put back together again after. Here is the very last remnant of where the old sill came to. So that's a datum point there. This is the last remnants of the old sill here. And what I might try and do is just warm up the inner sill and either press a lump into it or warm it up and hammer it. Let me do a bit of metal butchery then, and I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Forgot to say, there's my new piece of metal there. 16 gauge, 1.5 mil. So that's going to go along there and join onto this piece. Hello, I've been working on my inner sill and here's the piece, and I thought I might try and just press in the indentation. So I've got a bearing there because it's got a radiused edge, and I've got a ball bearing there. Let's see if it'll put a dent in it. Ooh, okay, putting a bit of a bend in it, but Right, I'm going to have to flatten that out now. Okay. Righto, I think I need 2 hands for this, so hang on. It's not too bad, is it? So a bolt can go in and come down at an angle. I think that'll have to do. That'll do. And there's a bit there where it's cut away to clear the what was the strengthening for the jacking point. Okay, right, jolly good. Let's see about getting this in place. Hello. At the end of quite a long session, I have got the whole inner sill in place. It's not an easy job. You've got to cut lots and lots of things away. And this is only half a job. I haven't done a full job because I didn't remove the last remnants of the old inner sill. But there's the new piece. And I'm hoping to be able to plug weld through the old inner sill, which is still relatively sound at the top. I'll put this here because I was worried about the whole door opening, stretching, but to be honest I don't think it's made a difference. Well, the clamps fell off. The gap is still a little bit wide there, but it was like that before I started cutting everything away anyway, so you know, I think whatever has gone on went on years ago, and I can't get it back unless it's always been like that. Anyway, it's not looking too bad. It's nice to have a straight edge along there instead of that ragged edge, and I can attach the sill to that. I haven't welded it yet. It's quite late. Well, rather, I've been out here a long time, so I'm going to have a break. I'm going to have a cup of tea, probably something to eat, and then I'll either do some more later or I'll do some more tomorrow. But for now, that's a good bit of work, I think. Once again, I'm trying not to restore the car, but you know, when it's as rusty as this one is, you gotta go in deep, attach stuff to whatever's left that's good, and then rebuild everything. Definitely a rotisserie would be a good idea, but I don't know. I'm just trying to do it old school, like I would have done it years ago, without all the fancy paraphernalia that people use these days. We're very spoilt for tools, really, when you think about it, the tools that we've got available to us. But this is more old school. Okay, righto. That's it for now. I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Look at the mess under the car. Inner sill is welded in, front to rear, all the way from the front, all the way through here, and you can see it's plug welded along here, there, plug welded all along there. A bit of welding there because there's a piece on the back there I couldn't get rid of. Plug weld there, and then welded to the rear part there. I don't quite know why I've got so much build up on the top parts of the weld, but I welded both sides just to make sure it's okay. I went and had a break. I had something to eat. did a Sudoku, and then came back out and did the welding. And I took my time making sure that I'd got the optimum sort of position for each weld and got each one clamped nice. And I think it's gone okay, to be honest. I think it's gone okay. So that's today's job, and I think it's come out okay. I took off that thing that I'd got here because it didn't seem to make any difference, that ratchet strap. It is what it is. Right, so that's today's session completed. That was what I wanted to do today, to get that inner sill in place. And there it is. I need to grind the weld a little bit there so the sill can fit flat to it. But I can sort of start offering the sill now and then look at how I want to attach that. But that is a job for another day. That needs to be cut off at an angle at the front there, but I thought I would just put it in and then trim it off after the event. Let's plonk the sill on and see how it looks. There's the sill in place, just placed in, so that would need welding. I did mention before that I had one of these once where I screwed the sill on, well, bolted it on really. It's a possibility, so that it could be removed, but I think as long as it's kind of painted on the inside and done nicely, it ought to be okay. I think it would probably be worth putting a couple of, well, probably 3 drain points into it, into the lower flange. I'll have to have a think about how I can do that. And then I can draw a line along, because as you can see there's a fair bit to trim off. But I left my, I left those pieces long. Well, I didn't want to have them too short basically. Okay, good, yeah. Inner sill in place, and plans forming for how to fit the outer sill. And yeah, looking good. All as they, oh God, my knee, as they say, the devil is in the detail. I mean, you can't leave that like that. That's the car in there. This all needs building into a box. I've got my dimple there and the whole place for the bolt. You can imagine a bolt coming down like this and attaching the wing here at the bottom. So that all needs to be engineered in. This needs a straight line projecting along and then sawing off. That needs a line projecting down and sawing off. Cutting off, I suppose. I don't think these wings have ever been off. And then I've got to make up the patch piece. All good fun, isn't it? I was doing all these jobs, 30 odd years ago, nearly 40 years ago, without the nice tools that I've got now. Okay, hope you're not getting bored of me working on this car. I'm enjoying it. It's building up my skill levels, especially my welding. Okay, I'll leave it at that then. Thanks very much for joining me in the garage. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then, bye.